Is Bulletproof Inbox the email management system you've been looking for? Let's talk about it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole Willett. I own a company called Breaking Even Communications. It's an online marketing company. And this is the 16th year that we've been in business. So I've been doing this stuff a really long time. And because of that, my email address is everywhere. I've signed up for different workshops. I have online listings for my business, and all of these things require an email address. And so my email address is everywhere. Obviously, as a business owner, what I want is for the important emails to be able to come through, but also for my email to be able to block people who are trying to waste my time. Now, I've tried a lot of things over the years to manage my email. What I'll do is I will put the timestamp on the screen where I start talking about Bulletproof Inbox in case you want to jump right there. But I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes going over what I have tried to manage my email in case you might see one of those tips and be like, you know what, that might be the solution I'm looking for. Now, I use Google Workspace, which is basically the paid version of Gmail. That allows me to use my domain, breakingevening.com, and I can make different email addresses associated with that domain. But I have the benefits of using Google's email program and servers. And because it's set up under my domain, I can customize what it's like for people in my organization. So, for example, a few years ago, when as a company we decided that security was really important to us, I flipped it so that everybody with an account on our email has to turn on two-factor authentication. And we did have somebody who didn't have a cell phone. So, you can, by the way, if you're ever in this position, you can create what are called backup codes. So, basically, you log in, it sends a code to your phone, and you can authenticate your browser for 30 days. So what I did was every 6 months, I would generate him some codes and send it to him. And then he was able to use them on his computer. And every 30 days, he would use one of his authentication codes to get in. So there is a way to have two-factor without requiring your employees to have cell phones. There is a way around it if you're looking for that. Point being, I use Google Workspace, so I'm always looking for tools that work with that particular interface. The first logical thing I tried was filtering my email. In Gmail, you can create a filter based on certain words in the subject line of the email, based on what email address something is coming from, and that sort of thing. One thing I have filtered, for example, is this email newsletter for Market or Hire, which I really like a lot as a marketing newsletter. I don't want it to hit my inbox, but I want to be able to read it. So what I did is search the email. I hit this little thing that looks like a bunch of, I guess, levers. And what I can do here is it says has the words, but I can also just say instead that it's from this company. So it's from this person or this company. And then I can hit create a filter. And what this will do is it'll allow me to do a bunch of things. So if I don't want to look at it in the inbox, I will skip the inbox and then I will create a label for fun reading. And I think there we go. And I will apply this filter to the 7 matching conversations, create the filter. It was already in fun reading anyway, but you get the idea. So I have a category called fun reading, and that's where I put all like my marketing newsletters and things that I might want to read later, but I don't want necessarily sitting in my inbox. So if I have like 20 minutes, I don't have time to start a task before a meeting, or if I'm stuck on a 2-hour bus ride, I have fun stuff to read. Another one I have is called Bar Harbor Scuttlebutt. And I have that one because for 15 years, I lived in the town of Bar Harbor, Maine. Actually, we still have an office in Bar Harbor, Maine. We have a lot of clients in Bar Harbor, Maine. And I go up there at least 4 times a year. So I am in Bar Harbor a fair bit for someone who doesn't live there, but I do want to keep up with what's going on. So all the local newsletters I subscribe to go into Bar Harbor Scuttlebutt. So anytime I want to catch up on what's going on in Bar Harbor, I know that is right under that label without having to sit in my inbox. Now, obviously, this can work pretty well for some things, but if a bunch of random salespeople are emailing you, well, you obviously haven't created a label for each individual random email address that emails you to sell you something. So the labeling is only going to work to a certain extent. Another thing I used to do is there was this great game called the email game. It no longer exists online. I'm saying this out loud in case someone watches this video and says, you know what? I want to resurrect the email game. I will be your first paid customer. I love that thing. What it would do is it would time you, and you would have to either archive or respond or trash. And it would go through each of the messages really fast. If I opened a message to reply to it, a 2-minute countdown timer would start, and it would start flashing red if I was taking too long to respond. And so it was a great kind of gamified way to go through email. I miss it. It worked well for me. Again, it didn't solve all the incoming problems, but at least made going through them a little bit fun. The other tool I've tried is called UnrollMe. Now, UnrollMe is great. Let me just show it to you. So what Unroll.me does is it pulls all your potential subscriptions into this kind of dashboard. And what you have to decide is if you're going to keep it, AKA keep it in your inbox, unsubscribe, which means unsubscribe from that particular newsletter, or roll up. Now, what it'll do is anything that says keep going to my inbox, nothing will change. It'll keep going to my inbox. Anything I'm unsubscribed from, obviously it'll unsubscribe me. And anything I say roll up, once a day, I get an email that would say the roll up, and it would put all the newsletters that I had in there. And while that was helpful in keeping my inbox clean, it made me never want to open that email because there'd be at least 20 random emails from 20 random companies or 20 random nonprofits or whatever, all in one big long thing that I had to deal with. So that worked well to keep my inbox clean, but I wasn't getting the information necessarily that I wanted. Now, after all this not working, I thought, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Maybe it's me and technology that are the problem, and I should just have someone else check my email. Everyone kept being like, hire a personal assistant. So I hired a US-based personal assistant. Now, what's confusing about my life is that I have an office in New York State and I have an office in Bar Harbor, Maine, right? So I have two offices as well as clients virtually. So when someone says, hey, I want to meet with you, they could mean Maine, they could mean New York, or they could mean on the internet. So tried this for like 6 months, and I would get text messages from friends and clients being like, who's answering your email? Like, it's weird. And the assistant would ask people to come to the Potsdam office who were in Maine, and then they were really confused because they were like, doesn't she have an office in Bar Harbor? Anyway, that it just didn't work out. And I don't know if it's that I just didn't have the right person in place or if it's that I was crappy at training them how to do their job. Maybe it was a little bit of both, but I realized that for this to work, it would take a really long time to get the person up to speed. And in the meantime, my email might suffer to the point where I might lose clients, for example. I know there's going to be someone in the comments who's like, well, you can hire someone in the Philippines for like $2 an hour. I don't know. It feels exploitative for me to do that. Also, I guess I've worked with people remotely, even like in different time zones and stuff, and or in different cultures. And I find that the amount of time I spend kind of going back and forth and communicating, it just takes a lot longer. Maybe it's because I haven't developed a competency for it. Maybe it's because I haven't found the right providers to work with. Me and the personal assistant were within one time zone of each other. And because I never knew when he was working, it was really difficult to have conversations. So I can't imagine someone being like halfway across the world and trying to do the same thing. The personal assistant thing didn't work for me. It doesn't mean it can't work for you, but I am saying I have tried it. And the final thing I've tried is Superhuman. Now, I get a lot of ads for software. Maybe you don't, but what I was noticing was Superhuman is like 25 bucks a month, and it's supposed to revolutionize how you manage your Google Workspace or your Gmail account. And the only videos I saw about the software were either put out by Superhuman, the company, or they were put out by affiliates, AKA people trying to sell you Superhuman software so they could get a cut. Because the videos themselves seemed very superficial, my friend Matt and I decided to each get a trial and then record a video together about what we thought about the software. I will link it in the cards and in the show notes in case you want to watch it. But basically, Superhuman takes advantage of the fact that Gmail has things called shortcuts. So, for example, Command or Control A will archive a message. So if you can go through and archive a bunch of messages, hitting Control A versus having to go over the icon and hit archive, you're obviously going to be able to go through your email faster, and that's going to add up over time. But what we found was like 90% of the whiz bang was just using Gmail's built-in shortcuts, essentially. Anyway, this brings us to October of 2023, where I am 15 and a half years into my business, and I've kind of given up on managing email. It's something that I want to happen, but much like someone who's been online dating for 20 years, I just couldn't bring myself to look for love anymore. When I got an email from Bulletproof Inbox offering for me to try it for free. And I saw it was 10 bucks a month, and I thought, you know what? Let's try it. I haven't given up on love yet. Let's see if this thing actually cleans up my inbox. So the rest of this video is going to be what my last 4 months of using Bulletproof Inbox has been like. To prepare for this video, I haven't checked my email in 48 hours. I needed to let things build up. And when I get in there, I want to organize it. So I had to just stay away. Okay, so don't judge the amount that's in there. I've let it build up on purpose. The basic premise with Bulletproof Inbox is it comes down to when you install it. And by the way, you get a 7-day free trial if you want to try it. But you install it, and then it gives you these 3 colored tabs. There's BP approved, BP blocked, and BP evaluating. Everything goes into evaluating until you drag it into blocked or approved. So if something is dragged into approved, that means, oh, things from the sender are great. It goes automatically in your inbox. Stuff from blocked goes into this blocked area. Now, the reason that I've kind of made my screen look like this is if you look at my spam, there's 25 messages in spam, and you see that BP blocked is blocking 37 messages. So while Google does some spam blocking, this software does more spam blocking and more specific spam blocking to you. So let's take a look in evaluating and see what's going on. I ended up deleting one of the emails because it had some personal information in it, but I can keep these here. As you see, there's 2 from Zillow. So let's take a look at that. I'm lightly looking for a house right now. So this one is from my-saved-home at mail.zillow.com. Okay. So I just want to see, I'm guessing these are 2 different email addresses. And these are recommendations at mail.zillow.com. Okay. You know what? I'm going to keep both of these. I might change my mind later on, but I'm going to drag both of these into approved. Approved. This is from a piece of software that I bought, so that's approved. I don't know who this is. Oh, looks like spam about making money with AI. I like this script, so I want to keep in touch with them. And I've been trying out Dex as a CRM software. One thing I will say is like you saw when I went to go drag it, how it kind of moved things in the sidebar a little bit. That can be a little annoying, but as you see, it's pretty quick for me to go through emails that I've never dealt with before. And anything that's inapproved is already sitting in my inbox. I will say it took me a second to figure this out, by the way. There's this BP approved folder and I was deleting stuff from there. And then I'd go in my inbox and I'd be like, why is it still here? And it's like, oh, I only deleted it from that label. I didn't delete it from my inbox. So if you are managing messages, you're going to want to be in your inbox, but this is a way to basically have a more detailed filtering system for you. Now, I kind of thought the labels were all there was to it, but there is another component.
Hey guys, editing Nicole. So my audio got messed up here, but the important part is that with this software, you can either have all your emails go into an evaluating tab, or alternatively, you can have people fill out a little survey before they can send you an email. So I keep the survey part off, but I turned it on so that I could show you what this email looks like. So I turned it on for like 3 days here. Basically, if you're doing the evaluating tab, you're not going to get emails like this, but if you do pick for people to fill out a survey, you are going to have to go in and approve them within Bulletproof Inbox's app. So that's what you're going to see here.
There's things that you have to manually approve on the Bulletproof website. So I got this email saying, hey, you've got some requests waiting to be completed. So let's go take a look at those. I'll blur some contact information, but leave some so that you can kind of see the context. But as you see here, it has a list of requests of people wanting to contact me. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how are they requesting to contact you? How is that even happening? Basically, when you connect stuff, there's actually 2 questions that you get asked when you set up your account. One is, okay, for unknown subscribers, do you want to put them in your inbox or do you want to put them in the evaluating folder? So as you see here, I've selected put them in the evaluating folder. So let me hit save these changes and it'll bring me to the second question. If there's an unknown sender, do you want to send a survey or do you not want to send a survey? And so what I had checked off, and the reason I changed it was so I could record this video, is I had sending a survey checked off. So I'm going to confirm. And so when I go look at these requests, all of these people have filled out a survey, which is why like reasons, looking for an office at Anchorspace, for example, that's a pretty specific reason. That's how this request has come to me. There isn't an infinite amount of customization, but there is some customization in terms of how this happens for you. Overall, I would say I really like this software. I would totally pay $10 a month for it, even if they weren't giving it to me for free. My hesitation in paying for it was that there is all these solutions on the market that promise to revolutionize your inbox. And I don't know if Bulletproof Inbox has that big of a promise, but it has made it more manageable to have things in these little piles. Yes, it's more piles to check, but it's not immediately assaulting my eyes when I get to my inbox, and it's not interrupting important emails from my clients and things like that, because everything new is kind of sitting in that evaluating area for when I'm ready to deal with it. In terms of customer service, I've only emailed them twice. And the first one was about that, hey, I've been deleting from approved, but it keeps being in the inbox. Am I just not deleting it from the right place? And they basically were like, yeah, but they were super nice about it. And they have a published email address and phone number in the footer of their website. So Good for them. If you're a little disillusioned about email like me and you just want to try it, you get a 7-day free trial. And when you go to bulletproofinbox.com, note the lack of affiliate link. Try it if you want. There's a little notes area that you can leave as you're signing up. And if you say, I'd like to try it for 2 weeks or I'd like to try it for a month, the worst they can say is no, right? But you can try it out and see if you like it. And like I said, as somebody who's tried a lot of stuff and got a cold email from these people, I was like, oh, but I'm really glad I did open it because it has been nice to be able to open my email and not dread it as much as I used to. So thanks so much for watching. I don't do a ton of software reviews, but I do a lot of content about marketing and things related to it. So if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, I do publish content on a pretty regular basis. And if you want to lightly keep in touch over email, we do have a monthly email newsletter. If you go to breakingeveninc.com/newsletter, you'll see samples of past issues that we've done. And if you like that sort of thing, you can sign up right on that page. If you want to talk about working together, you can go to breakingeveninc.com/contact. That form that comes in is approved, so I will see it. If you do try Bulletproof Inbox, let me know what you think in the comments. And thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.